excited today. We're gonna be working on Anna, and what we're gonna be doing is modernizing her look. So updating the layers are really sort of a challenging thing for people. What we're introducing right now is much shorter layers into a shag category that's a descendant layering pattern from the 60s. That can be intimidating to cut off. So as we're working through her haircut, we're gonna be using a technique called the inside out technique, where I'm gonna be removing layers throughout it that are gonna build dense weight in through the interiors of her hair, still respecting the weight across the base of the haircut as well. All right guys, so we have to figure out how to section her hair. What I wanna make sure is that I respect the density around her face. Now, hair per square inch, she's got less hair on the side of her head, and as we protrude into the recession across the forehead, we obviously start to see a transparency through there. So we don't wanna promote any layering in that area. So we're gonna start with a section called the sloping halo. All right guys, so we've gotten into our first section. As we talked about the sloping halo, we brought that back, but based upon density, convex and concave areas in the back of the head, we brought that up to the occipital bone. Everything's gonna be carried down 0 degrees of elevation, no distribution left or right at all. We're gonna come in front of my finger, I rest the shear up against my finger, and I literally cut into the base of the hair to sever that edge, but at the same time get a blunt line. So again, 0 degrees, no distribution left or right. Come back in, refine that edge ever so slightly, and go just a touch more. You can see we start to pre-establish weight again, but we've got a very severed edge. All right guys, so we finished the baseline. The next section is going to be a subsection in the back from the radial to the occipital. We're gonna do diagonal back line. Take the top portion here, clip that out of the way on both sides. I'm assuming you've noticed that we are cutting our hair dry. We find our hair specifically to cut it dry just to follow the natural grain of the hair and see natural texture movement. Really understand where the hair lives as I produce the cut. Stay tuned. All right guys, so we are moving into the next cut. Clearly we've got the base subsection out, so you can see again where that sloping halo was. We're taking a slight diagonal forward line. We're gonna elevate this section out, pulling just a small amount of hair from the previously cut section. That acts as a guide of length. We take that 90 degrees out from the head shape, find that guide to length. We're gonna push past our fingers, find our inside out cut, and cut through the edge. Next section, it's gonna be diagonal forward again. That is gonna come back to the previously cut section. We're gonna subsection that in half, continuing our elevation at a 90 degree. Find our guide to length, and cut back through that line again. All right guys, so we just finished our section, just in repeat. Everything was 90 degrees out from the sloping halo section. Every section thereafter was a diagonal forward, brought back to the previous section. When we got to the radial section, we stopped. We did the same thing on the opposite side. But what I wanted to show you was the texture and the layers. This is starting to build on the bottom. You can see the weight through the layers here, but again, it's still respecting the length. So we see that second tier of layers building. We're gonna be moving up into our third tier now. Okay, so we're moving into the next section now. We're in the third tier, as I was mentioning earlier. Now my clients, I've got the chair as low as I can get it, but I'm gonna need to elevate this to a point that's not ergonomic. So I'm gonna ask my client to lean back, if you wouldn't mind. I'm gonna take that elevation there, 90 degrees out from my section pattern here. Bring it out, find me my guide to length. As soon as that drops out, then I come back in, I get in front of my fingers, and I push through. Next section, just like we did on the previous, you're just going to see some redundancy in this, but everything's 90 degrees out again. Using the previous as a guide to length, allow that to drop, point cutting in. And last section, as you can see, it's quite fine in through there. We're dealing with a natural recession there, so we do want to over-direct this back just a slight bit further to carry some additional length in there. The same direction, the outside in. All right guys, so moving into the last section, of course we're at the back of the crown, moving up into the top of the head. Why that's important is that we're moving from a convex area to a horizontal platform. In that transition, she's gonna see some layers spill over the side of her head as she's gonna see into the back. And if she wears her hair forward or sort of pushed over her eye, she might even see some of those layers over her face too. So a pretty important portion for us to focus on. But like we have in the previous sections, we're gonna have a small tuft of hair underneath. That's gonna become our guide to length. And have you lean back as much as you can. I'm gonna take this in one section here. Everything is over directed back to center. Find my guide to length. And I push into the hair as I cut through this length here. And that's all we do. All right guys, final details. So we are going to get into subsectioning the front from the back at the radial. Once we create that, we've got the whole front of the hair. I want to look at this in natural fall. So combing everything teed apart, barely any tension in my hands. I'm going to take this front piece and just slightly increase it because I want to create some strength right on her face. Right at the chin here. I'm going to do a micro beveling technique where I just kick the shear slightly up and underneath this section, which is going to help to develop a bevel. And through the front of her hair. Let's drop everything in, see how that works. I think we're pretty good. It looks kind of heavy down the bottom down here, so I'm going to take all of that, elevate everything straight forward, throw it up at a 45, and come inside and just do random internal channel cutting sections just to build weight, and again, more movement at the base of the cut there.